The war in Ukraine drags on, edging closer to its fourth year with no end in sight. Every attempt at ceasefire has failed as Vladimir Putin clings to his ambition of crushing Ukraine's sovereignty. He believes he's winning, but Ukraine continues to strike deep inside Russian territory, proving otherwise. But now, a surprising twist has emerged. 10 nations are preparing to invade Ukraine.
Don't be mistaken. This isn't an attack.
In fact, it could be the strongest shield Ukraine has ever had. According to Euromaidan Press, members of the Coalition of the Willing are drafting a groundbreaking 3-layer security plan that would permanently change Ukraine's future after the war. Layer 1, a demilitarized zone, an enormous buffer stretching across Ukraine's borders with Russia and Belarus. Unlike traditional DMZ, this one could be patrolled by neutral peacekeepers, creating an early warning shield against any future invasion. Layer 2, Ukraine itself. Armed, trained, and strengthened by NATO partners. Operation Interflex has already trained over 56,000 Ukrainian soldiers, and that program may expand into a permanent military academy. Far from being a demilitarized, Ukraine will remain armed to the teeth, directly defying Putin's demands. Layer 3, the most dramatic of all, troops from up to 10 nations, including the UK, France, Canada, Lithuania, and more, stationed inside Ukraine. Their presence would serve as both a training force and a deterrent. Any attack on Ukraine could risk direct conflict with NATO powers. Putin would face not just Ukraine, but an entire coalition of nations. The United States, while refusing to send ground troops, is ready to provide intelligence, surveillance, and air defense support. Eurofighter jets, backed by U.S. strategic assets, could patrol Ukraine's skies. Of course, Russia opposes the plan outright. The Kremlin warns that foreign troops in Ukraine are unacceptable, and has even floated the idea of China acting as a peacekeeper under a UN mandate. Ukraine immediately rejected the proposal, pointing to China's economic and military support of Russia throughout the war. If this 3-layer defense is realized, Putin's dream of conquering Ukraine may collapse forever. A DMZ, a permanently armed Ukraine, and the constant presence of allied forces would make a future invasion nearly impossible. For Russia, attacking Ukraine could mean provoking a global war. But the question remains, can this bold plan actually happen? That depends on how and when the war ends, and whether Putin is ever willing to accept peace on these terms. Until then, Ukraine continues to bleed Russia's resources dry with devastating deep strikes, crippling oil refineries and military infrastructure far behind enemy lines.